same kind of format. It's very different, but at least we can see each other. To go over some ground rules real quick, just to make sure things go smoothly. We've noticed that if everyone stays on mute unless they're talking, background noise is cut down on, which helps a lot. So if you guys can do that, also utilize the chat. I have it pulled up, so if you don't want to speak through your microphone, or if you don't have a microphone, I can pull questions from the chat. We're recording this this session so that we can keep it for other students to watch later if they couldn't make it. So just be aware of that, and just be respectful. This is a safe learning environment that we want everyone to feel welcome in. So just be aware of that. Getting to probably the part that you're here for, the free t-shirts. I will be putting a link to a survey at the very end of the panel. So if you want a free t-shirt, you need to click on that survey link and complete the survey. That's how we'll get all of your information, like your size and your student ID, so we can send you a package with all of those goodies. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let the panelists start. We can start with Keyaundra. If you wanna go ahead and introduce yourself. I'll put myself on mute.
Hi, I'm Keyaundra. So I'm currently the Student Government Association president on campus. Student government, we're really involved with our the new laws that we're passing. We go to the Senate floor and we speak with the House of Representatives, and we really try to make changes on campus and in campus life with affecting how the students are doing on a daily basis. So yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know today.
Awesome, thank you. How about Daniel goes next?
Hello, I'm Daniel Cheer. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Corsair, Pensacola's newspaper. I don't know what else I'll say here. So hopefully you guys read the paper online. The website is eCorsair, so give that a look. We are currently posting as much as we can.
Awesome. And Kailey.
Hey guys, I'm currently a student ambassador here at Pensacola State College. I love being involved. I love hearing that you two are involved. It makes my heart happy. I'm currently trying to obtain my AA, but eventually I want to become an elementary teacher. So hopefully I'll major in that, but it changes every day. And that's pretty much it.
So we can go ahead and get started. I have some questions that I think would be helpful for students to kind of get to know you guys. But if you guys have any questions that you want to put in the chat, or if you have a question now, go ahead. You can unmute yourself. I will shut up for a second and let you guys take over if you want to. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started with the burning questions that I have. So why did you choose PSE? And you guys can kind of just pop up with whoever wants to go first, and I'll just mute myself and let you guys take over that.
You can go ahead.
Okay, cool. So originally I went to UWF like straight out of high school, tried to do all the fun bits and bobs, and my fun got too much, and I had to drop out. After the fact, I took some time, paid off my debts, and I needed to go back to school, but I was trying to find something that wasn't UWF anymore. I kind of lost my love for them at the end of everything. So PSE, I've lived in the area for a while, and I've always heard like, oh, they have really simple classes. They're really understanding about things, and that kind of drew me back to them. So I've been here now for 2 some odd years. So yeah, it just basically, it was a better alternative to just going straight back into a regular university after being out of school for too long.
I love that. I'm glad that you, found a place that you love. I joined PSC originally because I knew a lot of people that were, going, and I feel like I know the classroom sizes were smaller. I like the one-on-one talks with my professors. I feel that it really helps. I like being in front. You know, normally at big universities, there are these huge rooms. I mean, that's what I see in movies, so that's what I assume. But I like the small classrooms like high school. I went to a really small high school, and I just wanted to stay close to home. So I love it.
I like that, Kayla. I chose PSC for the same reason. I wanted to stay close to home, and then I wanted a smaller class size, and then affordability too was great. And the scholarships they offer was really good. And then like just coming onto campus and like finding out about all the things that we do like club wise was really cool because I wanted to be engaged and I wanted to be able to actually have an experience in college with different people and not just go to university and be too nervous to meet anyone. So.
Awesome. Those are really good answers. Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of diversity with our students, especially with like people like Daniel who come back after leaving school for a while, which is really cool because you have so many people from different walks of life and different phases of life in your classes, and you can learn from them. Again, don't forget, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can use the chat. I do have another question unless anybody else has one. Awesome. It looks like Bethel has one.
Well, I was just going to tell you that my experience with PSC was going through another nonprofit organization to get some help, and they connected me with the right people at PSC, and it was actually through an organization that helps a lot of deaf people, and I took ASL, which is American Sign Language, if people don't know that, for 2 semesters. And I met a lot of deaf people there and decided really that what I wanted to do was to help the deaf population because they're a very underserved population. And so my experience at PSC has been a very positive one, and I hope to not run into the problems you had, Daniel, at UWF. So, but it's definitely been a positive experience, and I gotta say that Megan and Abigail, well, really anybody in SGA has been very friendly, very welcoming, and I appreciate that.
We're so glad to hear you say that. That makes our hearts happy. We're here for the students to serve you and to get you any resources you really need. So yeah. Any other questions before I continue with my amazing questions? Yes, Enrique. Enrique, I think Enrique.
Yes. Hi. Hello. Enrique Rivera's photography major. I was wondering how your guys' study habits are, because I do procrastinate a lot. I kind of tend to wander off. So I was wondering about how your guys' study habits are.
I've really found that I had awful study habits in high school, and I won't lie, the first semester, you know, you really gotta find what works for you. For me personally, it was just finding an area that I could focus on my studies in. So when I go to a coffee shop, I'm away from home, I'm away from all the distractions, and that's really where I get the most work in. It used to be flashcards, but now I just find that most professors here, they offer, you know, the practice quizzes and the practice exams. And if you just take those over and over, those seem to really help. I don't think I've had a professor that hasn't given practice quizzes or practice exams yet. So
I'd like to add one thing about that is a lot of times the PSC, SGA, or other people in college offer teaching or training on study habits different other things like that. So I would look for something like that. The other suggestion that I have is there are already established, I don't know for the photography program, but I know some of the general education classes that I had to take, some of the instructors, some of the students use something called Quizlet. I'm not trying to advocate for or advertise for anybody, but it's just a suggestion.
I would say Quizlet helps a lot, but I also did, like in college, it changed my study habits did, and the coffee shop would work, like going to Starbucks helped a lot, like, and then you'd go with groups of like people in your major, so they can also help you, because like learning other people's perspective on different topics really helps a lot. But with the social distancing, what I did was I knew some girls in my lab class, so, and we had the same biology class, so we could do Zooms ourselves, and we would just make the Zoom and send it out to everyone, and then we could all study together. But some of my other study habits is I like highlighting everything. So if you do like to highlight and you like to organize in certain colors, buying your textbooks, I'd buy them from textbook brokers or online, because that helped me a lot, especially having to learn from home.
Going off of what Keyaundra said, definitely when it comes to social distancing, a lot of people are more comfortable in their home setting. Like, I mean, I gotta go to work, so I basically get out here and there. But I've found like I managed to find a desk online that I could just put on in one corner, have all my work stuff there, and that way I don't have to sit on my couch. So on my couch, absolutely not. But in my room, no. I'm not gonna like try and like focus on what I'm doing. I'm just gonna try and be like, oh, I'm comfortable, so what do I have to worry about? So I think having like a chair and a desk and something to like focus with is definitely a good strategy as well.
Oh, perfect answers. That was so good. It's like y'all like do this for a living or something, you know, be students.
I have a question, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go off ours. Based on your majors and what you want to, do when you grow up, as they say, or your program of study, do you feel challenged in your classwork or coursework? Do you feel like that's helping you achieve your goal and getting you to the next steps of where you need to be in life?
Danny, you can go if you.
Sorry, I was thinking for a second. I was like, it's 50-50. There's some classes that I intentionally take because like I just want to get the credit and be done with it. Like I'm with Happy. I'm not a math student either. Hello. I would say that when it comes to the classes that I do like truly want to like learn stuff in, like I took a tech writing class, not knowing anything about what tech writing is. Again, it was just another class. I'm like, oh, I'll just get a credit, call it a day. I have never written more letters and been more challenged to rethink how I write letters and emails and all that jazz before taking this class. Like, it just depends on what classes you're willing to let challenge you, I guess.
Agree with Daniel. There are some that you can, kind of study and get buy-in, but for example, if I want to be a teacher one day, then those elementary education classes I'm probably gonna read more on and just try harder to learn more, set up for success when I do eventually, maybe get a job in it. But.
I would say the same thing. Some of my classes I took because you need them to pass for your general credits, but some classes, especially when coronavirus came, with me being a biology major, I was surprised to see how they put COVID into the lessons. Like my government class, we talked about the statistics and like everything about COVID that affected our economy, which affected doctors and everything, and it was really interesting. So
That's pretty awesome. Props to your professor. That's pretty cool. Any questions before we keep moving along with the student activity question?
Kailey, were you in my intro to education class? Or have you taken that?
I actually haven't. I was just doing general studies. This semester I'll be taking intro to education and intro to diversity. I was going back and forth with psychology and elementary education, but like I said, it changes. We'll
Okay.
see.
I've had a real positive experience with a particular teacher, and maybe I could just send you that information.
Absolutely, that would be great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Awesome. So I have a question that I think would be super useful to know your perspectives on. How approachable are your professors, college staff, and even like the president, Dr. Meadows? How approachable do you find those people?
I would say it depends on your professor, but my experience from my first year, I had some really good professors. I feel like I could talk to all of them and they were really helpful. Like I'd even had professors who'd stay after and help you as much as you needed. So some of the professors are really easy to talk to. Some you may be a little more intimidated with if the class size is bigger, but I promise they're all good and they'll help you in any way they can. I've never had a professor turn you away if you needed help.
In the time that I've been at PSC, I really only had one bad experience with a teacher and the way that they taught. For me, because I have some issues with communication sometimes, and those of y'all that know me and have known me will go, huh? But there was just one teacher that at the beginning of the course, tried to explain to him some of my quirks, and wasn't receptive. But that was the only time that I had a teacher that kind of we kind of butted heads a little bit during the semester. But every other teacher, from psychology to intro to education to every other course I took, was very helpful and understanding, and really wanted their students to pass and tried to do everything they could to help them. I was a little concerned about taking a math class in the summer this past semester, and I had an excellent teacher. Her name's Rachel Wood, and I took an online class with her, and anything I didn't understand, she would physically make videos for me and the problems that I, was having trouble with. And to me, she just went the extra mile in helping. So just wanted to share that.
Awesome. So let's see, Kailey, do you want to speak on how approachable professors, college staff, and all that is?
Yes, for me personally, school has always, it's never come easy for me. So, some professors, they're easier to understand, most that aren't, and most classes that you have a more difficult time in, you're going to have to approach the professors more. Even if you don't want to, they can be extremely intimidating. You would be surprised, though, at how much extra credit some of them give if you ask. Some, do office hours that you can go and talk to them one-on-one with. I've had online teachers where I've completely missed tests. I was scared to death to ask, can I please make this up? Something happened. And they were very accepting. I was terrified, but, every professor that I've had has been so easy to talk to and so outgoing. If you just, basically the syllabus, they all say, I'm here are my hours. here's when I can talk. Please come to me if you have any questions or concerns. So I love it here. And I just feel like they're all very accepting, and I'm very thankful for that.
That's awesome. I love that. Danielle, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think I'll look at more from the staff perspective of openness. With the paper, I work a lot with like trying to go out and send. Well, now I send people out to talk to people, but when I first started with the paper, a lot of my job was going to different events and stuff like that, and trying to learn what was going on. Definitely, athletics and student activities have been two of the most people I interact with on a regular basis. Athletics has been super open about helping me. Like when I first started, like they have their own photographer, and I was so intimidated by having to deal with get these shots. But she's like, yeah, no, come on, here, you just stand right there, you do the job. I'm like, okay. But I will say that PSC is just because we're like a small town. Everybody pretty much knows everybody in some capacity. You just don't know this person in some capacity. And I think that helps with the educational aspects because a lot of people aren't like major universities, like you don't really get a time to know your students. And that's why, like, when you were talking about Bethel was talking about Rachel Wood, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love Rachel Wood. She's such a great math teacher, and I totally agree with everything. Like, I'm trying to get her into another class with her, and it's like, oh, this COVID is killing me. But yeah, I think so. I think it's just like that small town feel really helps that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's funny that you said that it's like a small town where everybody knows everybody, but you don't really know that you know everybody. It totally is like that.
It's like Cheers, doesn't it?
Let's see.
But
I love this question. Do you have a voice on campus? Do students have a voice? What are your perspectives on that? Let's go with Kailey first.
Absolutely, students have a voice. I don't know if you walk around the campus, but there are so many poster boards up. If you ever get the time, just read some posters. We have lots of stuff normally going on, not with COVID right now probably, but any normal time, yes, students have a voice. If you're concerned, if I've ever had an issue with anything, I know that I have people to talk to. So for sure, they do. We do.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear about Keyaundra's perspective from this because she's part of student government. So she has a lot of hands-on with this. So how about you take it away, Keyaundra?
I would say our students have a big voice. Like we host different events on campus and you can fill out like a paper for the question we may ask you, and we'll take what you said and we'll actually do something with it. We try to make sure that every student has an opportunity to voice their own opinion. Even the professors even give you a voice here, which I've noticed great. Like one of the best professors who I saw did that was Mr. Deed for American government, because it's a government class. So you had a voice where you could express anything you felt. And I've seen that so much on campus, which is great. And I think as a student here, I've had more of a voice here than I've ever had anywhere. And I've been involved in high school and everything. And college was really where you got to open up and talk to different people who felt strongly about something that you may not have and learn their perspective too.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear from the paper's perspective. So Danielle, how about you take that away?
Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of a shameless plug here. So obviously, I don't know if you guys have been following in your perspective clubs that the podcast bug has been rampant. I know that we started out with on our ends, like we started with it's been my dream for a while, which we have our equipment ready. We've actually got one episode on our website already, and I know that we're looking forward to our episode where we have Abigail and Mackenzie come on and talk about student activities and everything like that, because I'm interested to find out what's going on, because again, that's like my bread and butter. But that, as far as being a voice for the students, that's the Corsair's that's their first and foremost is a voice for the students by the students. So it's important that we do only publish. We were publishing only like on a monthly basis, but now that we're onto an all digital format, we have now gotten a way to start putting out stories more in a timely manner, so students are finding out what's going on. So yeah. Also, if you guys haven't listened to the Pirates Parlay, listen to that. It's on our website.
Going back also to the professors, there's always surveys after every, class. So you always get to put your input in if you've had any issues or if you've loved that class. So you definitely get a big say in that as well.
I just want to say I love the name of the podcast, Pirates Parlay. Genius. I love that.
Yeah, so that was actually, it was funny, it was a section of the paper back in like the early 2000s, and I didn't realize that till the old advisor was like, oh my gosh, you brought it back. I'm like, yeah, didn't just make it up, because there's like very few pirate phrases that mean meeting.
I love that you did a shameless plug. That makes my heart happy, and it makes me feel like I can do a shameless plug, so we're about to do one. Go follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything you can find on @PSC Pirates Life, please. Thank you. That would make my heart happy. Okay, I'm going to let you guys, if you have anything, put it in the chat for any questions, or unmute yourself if you have a question right now. I'm going to keep going with my questions because I think I have some great questions. They're burning questions. I like this question. Do you feel safe on campus? Is PSC a place where you feel like you can let your guard down and like actually learn and relax? Let's start with Keyaundra.
Oh, I would say I do feel safe on campus because we have the security officers who they drive on their golf carts, they drive in their cars, and it's pretty safe with that aspect of the campus. And not only that, but I feel like this is a pretty safe area anyway. Pensacola is, in general, I feel like it's pretty safe here. And then being on campus, you're surrounded by just students who are trying to learn, and it's a really good environment. I've never felt endangered in any way being here. So I think it's really safe.
Yeah, with it being such a small community, if you ever feel unsafe, there's always, an adult in some building. I mean, clearly we're all adults, but, someone that you could feel comfortable going to about any situation. With it being so small also, I've even gotten close and to know the officers. So that helps as well. And, just safe spaces like the library, the coffee shop, those areas are super comfortable just to sit and study. And I feel completely safe at PSC.
Awesome. Daniel, you have anything else to add to that?
Yeah, just going off what Kayla said, like as far as the open spaces and everything goes, like just also like I think there's very few like unlit areas of PSC. The most that we have is like that little archway by the science building that's just like right, but that's literally maybe a small apartment's wide. It's such an open air concept that like it's just there's so many lights and everything. I think that helps with the safety as well as keeping things well lit and making sure we have a lot of safety measures involved.
One thing that
I do want to add that it is an actual like police. We are an actual police department, so we do have actual police officers who are licensed, certified, all that good stuff, as well as public safety people. So the people in uniform are actual police officers. And I'm putting in the chat the dispatch number right now. I have it in my phone. I recommend if you guys want to put it in yours, just to be safe. You never know. It is a pretty well lit campus, but if you ever feel uncomfortable anyway, you have it in your phone already and you're not like searching, trying to find it. You can just call public safety or tell Siri to do it, or whatever Androids use. But yeah, so I put it in the chat in case you guys want it, and I just wanted to let you guys know that in case you didn't know.
That is an awesome resource for students to have and faculty and staff. Everybody should have that number saved. Really good one. Bethel, do you have a question?
I just wanted to say that PSC makes it very, very clear, especially like with night classes. If you don't feel comfortable walking to your car by yourself, you can get a member of the security or police or whatever to walk you to your car. And that in and of itself made me feel very safe, is that, even in situations where there could be danger, not that there necessarily would be, because Pensacola State College is a vibrant community, with all kinds of help. But that was one thing that comforted me.
Yeah, it's a really good resource. Let's see. I really want to know y'all's answers to this question. Be brutally honest. We want to know, is there anything you dislike about PSC? Let me just know. Can you just tell me, please? Let's start with Keyaundra.
I don't have many dislikes. I do wish that there were like just more food opportunities, like for lunch if you are on campus. I feel like even though we're close to the mall, if you've only got 10-15 minutes to get to class and you don't want Subway or Drowsy Pool, I wish we could have more of those options. But that's something we can't change, which is fine. So we make do. Traffic-wise, it's a dislike. I say if you have a 9:30, 9:15 class, get here a little bit before to find a parking space. I learned that my first week of school. I had no clue it was going to be that crazy in the parking lot. So that is another thing. But I do think with them opening the new building over here, that parking, it will change the parking lot situation and the drivers on campus. So I will say get here early though. Do not wait till the last minute. That is my only dislike because you don't want to be late for class your first week.
Absolutely. You definitely don't want to be. You don't want to be that person that walks in late and is like, ugh. How about, let's go to Daniel. What is one thing you dislike?
So this isn't necessarily like directly related, like it's kind of PSC related, but it's at the same time, I've noticed an increase in use of book codes as opposed to just physical books, and those codes are expensive, and I would love to know why. Like that's like because like I mean I prefer a physical book, but if like it's just like oh we have to use this because of like quizzes and stuff like that, like that's all good and fine. But I was wondering, like, because I go through textbook brokers for pretty much all my book needs. Like, they're pretty solid resource. I just always like look at it. And I'm like, oh, this book, like, book $20. This book $30. This code $236. I'm like, hello. So as far as like something I don't like about PSC is like maybe just like more, I'd say more physical books to kind of bring down that educational costs a little bit more. But other than that, it's just like a small nitpicky thing.
Yeah, those virtual textbooks will get you. Kailey, how about you?
When I hear this question, the only thing that I can think of is those darn speed bumps that always slow us down no matter what. Like, I know why they're there. They're important, but that's just the only thing I can think of. I just can't stand them sometimes.
Oh,
And
girl.
sometimes you forget they're there, and then your roof hits the ceiling of your car, and you're like, I should have slowed down a little bit. But that's it. That's all.
Like taking off in a rocket going over them. It's like, it's amazing. Anybody have any questions real quick?
I do. I have a question. Does any of our panelists take classes on a different campus, like besides the Pensacola campus? Awesome. Okay. So my question is, do you guys like the accessibility of Pensacola State, where you have a flexibility to take it in Santa Rosa and Escambia County, hybrid or virtual? Do you feel like Pensacola is really accommodating to all student styles and type of students, like full-time to part-time, traditional, non-traditional, all those things? Do you feel like they're pretty open and welcome in your experience?
I think so. I think they're pretty solid. Like there's a really good mixed bag of people that I know a lot of people who live in Milton that really appreciate the Milton campus because it is a little bit smaller, and then plus like if you've been there and seen the greenery of that place, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful campus. Like I would say that it's a good idea because the fact that we have people who want to come here for that really great financial like ease, it's basically like, but don't want to have to try to back and forth to Pensacola or back and forth to wherever the city is. I don't know, where is that campus at? Like, don't even know.
I think it's in
Yeah.
Gulf Breeze.
Gulf Breeze, there we go. Yeah, so like with the fact that we have we are a commuter college that is very accommodating to our commuters, is what I'm saying.
Yes, I like that answer. A commuter college that's accommodating to commuters. Kailey, I know you've been on the Milton campus. What was your experience over there?
I loved the Milton campus. I'm closer to that area, so you walk in a classroom there and you see a ton of people that you know. However, I do actually like the Pensacola campus more because I walk into a classroom and I don't know anyone. So it gives me an opportunity to meet new people and make new friends, and I really love that. But sometimes you just need to spread your wings and fly, and sometimes it works out for the better. And that's why I actually prefer the Pensacola campus. And also, the coffee shop, the mall, all that near it.
Can't go wrong with a trip to the mall between classes. Bethel, do you have a question?
I have more of a comment about what you asked. I did have the opportunity to go to the Santa Rosa campus, and what I enjoyed my classes there, and everybody was friendly and helpful and all that, but there wasn't as much opportunity for clubs and for other extracurricular activity that I really wanted in my college experience, like participating in events that SGA would put on or any one of the clubs I was a part of. So that's kind of why I like the Pensacola campus better than the Santa Rosa campus, even though the Santa Rosa campus was a little closer at the time. I found myself wanting to go to the main campus because I could be a participant in a whole lot more things.
Awesome. Do you have anything to add to that, Keyaundra? Have you only been on the Pensacola campus?
I've only been on the Pensacola campus, but I do have friends who've used Warrington's campus because they're military families. One of my friends, she said Warrington worked out on Mondays and Wednesdays for her because she worked over there by the base, and she said it was really nice. And I've been there for different events for like high school wise. We used to host our health science competitions there, and just being there, it was really nice. And seeing the facility, if you're a medical student, just being able to go and see the nursing wing, seeing the different radiology suites, like the pharmacy wing was really cool. And you got to see how they do the medicines and everything. So the school in general is really nice there. And I have seen the Milton campus. I've been there once. I've never taken a class here, but it's really nice. I do like it. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. So I'm going to do one more question, and then we can do just an open discussion for a few minutes, and then we'll wrap it up so everybody can leave and get on with their days if they have anything else to do. So my last question for our panelists is, do you have any advice for new students? What would be your piece of advice? Let's start with Kate.
You said Kailey, didn't you? It cut off. Okay, just making sure. My piece of advice would be to not be scared to talk to your professors. That's it. I know you're going to be, obviously scared when you're starting classes and everything, but I have definitely learned as I go on that the sooner you build a relationship with your professor, the better off you're going to be, and the easier class will be for you. So if I could give anyone advice, it's just, make a relationship with your professor.
That's really good advice. Let's go to Daniel next.
I would say get a friend who's been here for a while, because they're going to definitely tell you, like, near graduating or even like an alumni, like a very fairly new alumni. Because if you're on the same track as them, they can give you the advice of which teachers are going to be the ones you want to lean towards, which ones you may want to try and like reconsider taking. I mean, we can all use Rate My Professor just fine, but I think the human perspective of that in real time helps you build a better educational experience than a website will.
Awesome. Keyaundra, do you have anything else? Well, what would your piece of advice be?
So my piece of advice is similar to Kaylee's. I'd say build that professor-student relationship quickly. And I really would just say relax and enjoy yourself. Build some friendships, make some relationships with different people that are on your campus because they'll understand what you're going through. Like if you're stressed about something, if you need someone to talk to, especially with finals or midterms or just everyday life. It helps a lot. Coming to PSC for the first time, that did help me too.
I saw a sentence on social media the other day that said you can still attend college while having a life outside of it. So just always remember, to take care of yourself. And although college is very important, you can't focus all of your attention on it. So just gotta remember you can't have a life and you can't go to college at the same time.
Absolutely. So we can open some open discussion if anybody has anything else to add. I did put the link to the survey in the comment chat section. So don't forget to go fill out that form if you want to receive your free t-shirt. Again, every enrolled student who comes to one of the events this week will receive a free t-shirt if they fill out that survey. So yeah, if anybody has anything to say, you can unmute or you can put it in the chat and I can read it for you. So yeah.
Hello. I wanted to ask this. You guys have been talking about finding a buddy and defining a friend. How would you find one with the coronavirus limiting our access to people?
Awesome. Danielle, do you want to go with that first?
Absolutely. So obviously this is one of these situations, like these like events like this, where you talk to other people and you kind of meet the perspectives. That is a good way. Also, a lot of these clubs and organizations have social media pages that, if you're interested in getting involved but aren't able to like have regular conversations or Zoom calls, that's a way for you to connect with your organization that you're interested, like Active Minds, SGA, the Corsair. Like I know for us, trying to find new members is somewhat of a priority, but we're not like it's like on like the mid burner, not necessarily the back burner. I get random emails now of people wanting to join the Corsair, and it's just like, oh, I guess you heard about us through this net. But I think definitely join an organization, find a Facebook page, find an Instagram post, something like that, in order to connect with these students on campus nowadays in a way where we're not really connecting in person, but we're connecting digitally.
Perfect. Keyaundra, you want to go next?
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It's also easy, like if you're in class and you meet someone even virtually, if they send you their phone number and you text them, you can make friends that way because will instantly have a connection because you're in the same class and you'll have something you can already start talking about. Join clubs. I know it's gonna be difficult since we're virtually together, but I would say I made a lot of friends from different clubs I've joined. So if you do that, most definitely you'll have a great experience of making friends.
Awesome. Kailey, you want to wrap that up?
Yes. Okay. So now, especially with lots of classes being online, I've actually found that I come more out of my shell online a little bit. So normally for every online class that I've ever had, we do discussion posts once a week. And, you start commenting back to people and telling them, wow, great post. I agree with you in this sense. And that is a really great way to connect with people and make friends because even on the campus site, classmates and, hey, how did you do this? How did you get this? And that is just really helpful in the discussion post. So don't be afraid, now that we're online, that you're not going to have any friends or anything because the discussion posts really do help, and I have found so many friends. Someone even got my number from an online class the other day, and we were texting from a discussion post. So
That's awesome.
I'll add that, like you guys have said, it's getting involved in student organizations and student clubs, and I 100% agree, mostly because it helps me keep my job, which is great, so let's keep doing that. But secondly, we're trying to develop more opportunities for you guys to connect digitally, like this panel that we did, so thank you guys so much for coming. A new program that we're introducing this fall is called our Emerging Leaders Program. It's a 10-week leadership series. It's totally free. You don't need any supplies or anything. We'll meet every Friday beginning September 4th at 10 a.m. It's going to last between an hour and a half to 2 hours, and you're going to learn how to pretty much enhance those leadership skills that you already have and become a better leader. And we are limiting it to 25 students. So it's going to be a small cohort, and that it will be an amazing opportunity for you to connect with people as well that maybe aren't in your classroom or aren't in a club or organization that you see on campus that you want to join, but you're kind of scared. This will help kind of boost that confidence. That's a big goal for me and Abby, is to help students kind of boost that confidence and kind of see their potential in meeting new people and being the best version of themselves that they can be. So that, to keep that in mind, we'll be sending out emails here very soon, but if you want more information, just put that in the comments and I'll make sure I'll send you that as well.
You can also, if you want to, I don't have the application, but if you want to put the application link in the chat as well, they can go through that format too. Are there any other comments or questions before we wrap this meeting up? I can leave the meeting open for a little while if anybody else wants to talk or if you just want to hang out. But I think that concludes our panel for today. If you want to, you can come check back in tomorrow. We're doing Resource Lifesavers, so we're going to have the library, we're going to have tutoring labs, some really awesome resources that are here for free for students, and they're going virtual. So that should be some good information for you guys on how to access those resources virtually. So be sure to stay tuned, and we will be hopefully putting that on our YouTube channel once it's recorded, so that if you have work or anything that you can't come, it will be there for you later. So I think that's all. Thank you to everyone for coming, and the application for the leadership program is in the chat, the survey's in the chat, so make sure you get those before leaving this meeting, and then we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Your YouTube channel, what's the name of that?
It's at PSD Pirates Life, like everything else.
Everything else? Okay.
Everything else. You're muted, Mackenzie.
That one might be more spaced out because YouTube's kind of weird and they don't have like handles, but it's definitely, it's PSE Pirates Life. That's our name. That's the best way to find us on anything.
And it's also, I think we've linked it in our Instagram bio, and if we haven't, I can go do that today. So you can go through our Instagram to get to our YouTube if you can't find it that way.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming. Thank you for everyone participating. It's been awesome.
Good day.
Did you say that there was a YouTube channel for the
Yes.
Pirates? Okay. I'll have
It
to
only
look.
has one video up there currently.
Oh, okay.
We're working on filling it with others.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Well, it was good seeing you guys. I missed you, Mackenzie and Abby, and it was nice meeting you.
I miss you.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye.
Bye, Keyaundra.
It was great to see you guys again. It's going to be weird doing our social distancing, but it was good to see you guys.
It will, and I will be in touch probably within the next few weeks about SGA stuff. So just keep an eye out for that. And then if you've got ideas, just make note of them so we can talk about them. But
Okay,
you're
I'll
awesome.
start writing them down.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
I'm going to go ahead and end the meeting unless anybody else needs anything from the chat. And if you do, you can email student activities and we can get that to you. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the meeting. Bye, y'all.
Bye.